Okay, so we are doing a print and cut on the Starcraft Solo machine, and we're using this Create software. Now, this software, I am not that fluent in. Well, I'm not fluent in it at all, to be honest. I really only use it to bring in PNGs so I can print them and cut them for my heat transfer, my HTV transfers. Now, I do still do a lot of my designing in Photoshop. I have learned a little bit of designing in Create software, but not really too much. I haven't really had a lot of time. But so this is what it looks like here. I have my basic document up. There's nothing on here. I gotta hide these so they're not in my way. Okay. So what you're going to do is first you're going to want to import your file. Now this white space over here, this large one, this is my mat size. And then this one here with this little black line, that is my page size. So over here, you can see that my mat size is a 12 by 12 and it's going across 12 inches. My page size, from me just looking at it, this looks like it's an 8.5 by 11. Which is actually measures up to that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this down arrow and I'm going to import my PNG. Let's see. I wanted to do this one. Okay. So I am going to click on open and it's going to pull in the PNG that I want to go ahead and print and cut. Okay, so here's my PNG. You see that when I hover over it, it lights up green around it. That just means that's everything that's going to cut. Sometimes this highlight is pink, sometimes it's yellow. I really don't know why it changes, but I just know that's telling me that's what's going to cut. And then these 4 little triangles are the registration marks. Now you want to make sure those are always turned on whenever you're doing a print and cut. If they're not turned on, then when you put it through your solo, it's not going to read anything. So over here on your document, so this first icon that looks like a couple sheets of paper, this is where you can make sure your registrations are turned on. So you want to make sure this box is checked to show registration marks. And I like this box checked to show print margins. And then this one is showing the page color, which I really don't know if that makes a difference or not. But the print margin is here. So I know that my registration marks have to be inside of this box here. Now I'm actually going to be printing a larger one. So I'm going to change my page size to 13 by 19. So I'm going to go up to file because I want this to be bigger. I'm going to go up to file. I'm going to go to page setup. I am using a Mac, so yours may look different. I think if you have a Windows, then it's going to be print setup, I think. So I'm going to come right here and make sure my printer is selected that I'm using. And I'm going to change this to 13 by 19. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, for some reason, this delays this print margin. So I did change it to 13 by 19, but it doesn't look like it. So whenever it does that, I'll just simply click on this little icon up here with the magnifying glass to preview. And then I want to make sure I'm showing print margins, print and cut registration marks, printables, show cut lines. And then I'm going to just hit make sure. Okay, so it is set up. So my page is set up to 13 by 19. So you see how this line, this black line is now outside of the mat because it's actually bigger than the mat, which doesn't matter. And I'm going to show you why. All right, so I'm going to move this around a bit Now, what I like to do is to get the right size is I click on this second icon on the right-hand side with the arrows, and it shows me the size of my image. So this is 6 by 7, and I want to make it bigger. So I'm going to hold down my shift key, and I'm going to stretch this out, and I'm just watching my numbers on the other side to make sure that it gets to the size I want it to be. Okay, so that looks about right. Now I'm just gonna check my page size again because I really don't like that this is still like that. So I'm gonna go to File, Page Setup. Yes, I'm on 13 by 19. It still didn't change. All right, well, let's see if that makes a difference. So basically, I know that my page size is a 13 by 19. So I want to make sure my registration marks stay within that area. I don't want them to go outside of it because that means that it's not going to print. So let me click on okay, so right now my whoops, 1 second, let me click that again. Okay, so my top registration marks in between is measuring 9.71 inches, and then up and down is 10.93 inches. So that looks like it's about right. And now you see my page size move out of nowhere. So I'm going to go ahead, and I like to keep my registration marks about 1.5 inches away from the edge of the paper, just because I want to avoid having the registration marks cut off. So yes, you are going to be using more vinyl, wasting vinyl, but I'd rather get all my registration marks in and not have to waste the whole thing. So I'm going to simply click on Create. I don't change anything in here. I don't even know what to do here. So I just leave that alone. Click on Print and Cut. And then you click Print. For me, I have to always change the settings. If you're using a Windows computer, you want to make sure that your settings are set up correctly too. So I'm going to click here, go to Media and Quality. You want to make sure you select the tray you're using. So I'm using the rear tray. The media type for the printable HTV is going to be photo matte paper. If you're using Windows, you can use presentation matte. Don't use premium presentation because it just puts out too much ink. And then it's on best quality, and I'm going to simply click print. And then it should start printing shortly. Okay, it is printing. Let me go over here and grab it. Does anybody have any questions so far? No, so y'all pretty much got that part?
Yes. So this is kind of set up like Silhouette.
It's very similar.
Okay.
As far as the printing part, yes. The design part, I'm not sure because I don't know how to design in Silhouette either.
What software are you using again?
This is the Create software that comes
okay.
With your Solo.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff you can do within the software. I've watched some videos, like you could do rhinestone templates, and there's no additional fee that you have to pay. I know with Silhouette, you have to upgrade to the business edition. I just haven't had time to really play in it to make stuff, but I plan to eventually. Okay. So here is my print. Can y'all see my print? It has all my registration marks on it. And now I'm going to move over so we can go ahead and cut it. I'm just reading. Will we be able to receive a copy of the live? I'm gonna actually upload it to my YouTube. So you'll be able to watch it on my YouTube. All right, so I gotta move y'all over so y'all can see what I'm doing. And I have my assistant in here to help me out. Hold on, there we go. Okay. I had to move it so that I can see what y'all see. All right, hopefully this works. Okay, so I got my solo. All right, Roman, now I can use your help, buddy. So I'm using my Cricut mat. Roman, I can use your help. And here it is. So I do like to push my image further down to the bottom, but I'm just gonna cut off some excess here. And I don't have my solo mat. I have my Cricut mat. So I'm gonna just place it right on here.
So are you showing us how to put it on the solo?
Yes.
I can't see.
Can you see me?
Hold on.
Can anybody see me?
I can see you.
And maybe I gotta.
Sorry, it was me.
Maybe
I got it. Okay.
Can y'all see me better? Can y'all see me better now or?
Yes.
Okay. Roman, come here. All right, I need you to hold this and be careful. Come here. So just hold it right. Come here, let your hand, come on. Just hold it right here. Okay, so this is the control panel for the solo. If you can see on the solo, right here, there's like a little bronze ridge part on here, and then this part is silver. I like to line my mat up so that the edge is touching right here. So on the back, there's a little lever that you want to press down that releases these pinch rollers so that you can slide your mat under. So I'm gonna release that. Grab my mat. And you could slide it in from the front or the back, it doesn't matter. But you see how I have it lined up right here. So it's like 2.5 inches space right here. So I'm gonna push it back so that it lines up. So the bottom of my mat is lining up with this little groove that you see. So I'm just gonna line that up. And then my pinch rollers, these black things are called pinch rollers. I want these to be set up correctly too. And I don't really like how this one here is gonna roll right over my image. So if you look on the back, you could just grab them and move them. So I'm gonna just move this one over here. So it's like right on the edge. This one, I'm just gonna move over here so that it's not on my image. And this one here is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock it back. Now I'm gonna use these controls. So the up and down will move your mat forward or back. And the over arrows is gonna move your needle and your camera. What you wanna do is you wanna line the tip of the red needle. So right under here, you wanna line it up on this corner edge of this registration mark. You can get it as close as possible. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to line it up to hover right over top of this. Also, your needle, you want it to be exposed just a little bit. So I'm gonna actually take it out so y'all can see. So my needle is exposed and you see how you can see some of it. I'm not sure if y'all can even see. I think you can. So it's out just a tad. And if you want to adjust it, hold this for me, Roman. Roman, hold this for me. You just unscrew this gold piece and then you can move the silver piece up and down. So that's going to bring your needle in or out if you need to push it out more. And then you just twist the gold ring back to secure it. Now, when you drop your needle in here, you see how this red ridge is sitting on top of this black part. That's incorrect. Your design's not gonna cut because it's not all the way down. So you gotta make sure it goes underneath there. There we go. And tighten it back up. Now I'm going to line this up. So I'm just tapping to get it lined up correct. Okay, so it's lined up on the corner. I don't know if y'all can really see it, but it's lined up. Now here is where I change my force and my speed. So my speed is 8. I'm gonna bring it down to 7 and my force is 15. I'm actually gonna bump it up to 17 just because I made a cut earlier and it cut through, but I felt like it could cut a little bit deeper. So I got it on 17. Now what I have to do, and you can save this. If you want to save this as a preset, you can just click on save. Oh crap, I think I saved it. It's the wrong one.
Yes, I blew you up. Can you repeat your numbers for me?
Touch on one that's not named, and then you go ahead and rename it. But I'm not gonna save it. I'm gonna just leave it here. So then what I have to do is make sure my cord, this blue cord is connected to my computer. So let me plug that back in. All right, and then back to my software. So this screen should still be up if you didn't move it. And if I click on start scan, it's going to scan all the registration marks. And now it's going to go ahead and cut it. So I like mine to cut a little bit on the slower side just to make sure it doesn't mess up anything. You can bump it up if you want to. It's just really trial and error to see what works for you. But so it's cutting. When you first do it, you might look at it like, oh my gosh, it's not cutting correctly. And that's how I was when I first did my first cut. But once it comes out, you can check it and it should be fine. Okay, let's see. Can I repeat the setting you use for the cut and speed? So this setting, the force I moved it up to 17 and the speed is 7. Yes, thank you, Ty. Thank you, thank you. So it's doing its thing. For sticker paper, you can use the same setting. For the matte, the glossy, I would probably bump it up a little bit because it's a little bit thicker. And then if you're doing die cut stickers, meaning you're cutting the stickers completely out, then you want to push your force up. You can bump it up to, I want to say 40, I think is what I use. There's also an option, which I didn't even show y'all. But there's an option to do a test cut. So it's right here, it's grayed out because I can't do it right now. But before you actually scan to cut your image, you can hover your needle around any white area that doesn't have design on it and click on test. And it's gonna draw a square and a circle. And then you go ahead and get your weeding tool and you pick out the square to see how it actually cut, to make sure it didn't cut all the way through the paper and make sure that it cut enough. So it's done. So I'm just gonna click this down arrow and it's going to release my mat. So now let's see how it weaves. I still haven't named my solo yet. Okay. All right, so sometimes I just leave it on the mat and read it, but I'm gonna take it off. And I kind of just glance at it to see how it cut. So yep, it cut pretty good. And it weeds like really, really easy. The easy scissor color print easy vinyl. You see how I'm not really like fussing with it. Okay, so that's the most of it. But do you see how clean the cut lines are? I still gotta weed out a couple more pieces. Okay, that's it, y'all. Print and cut. Boom, boom. And then I would just, of course, transfer this using transfer tape for heat transfer vinyl. This is one brand that I use from Amazon. And then I will go ahead and press it on my shirt. But I really just wanted y'all to see the print and cut. But see, it is possible to get crispy, clean cut lines using the Starcraft Solo. I did not have to fuss and fight with it. It is simply. Now, what you guys also want to make sure that you have calibrated your machine. Woo! Sorry, I dropped y'all. Calibrated your machine. So we will do a video on that another time. But that is it, y'all. That was our lunchtime print and cut with the solo, Starcraft solo. Any questions for me, y'all? Any questions?
Amber, you make it look so easy, child.
It is. I'm telling you, it really is.
I think last time when I did mine, I think my force was too high and it cut. So I'm
It
cutting
cut
that
through.
now. Yeah, so I'm cutting it now with the numbers you use. So hopefully it
Okay.
don't mess up the mat like you did last time.
Okay. All right, Roman, get out my seat. I'm going back.
Yeah.
She said, do I press immediately or wait? So this particular vinyl, it doesn't need any dry time or anything like that. So it just depends on when my order is due. If it's not due right away, then I may just wait because I'm doing other projects. If it is, then yes, I'll transfer it and press it right away. And I have not had any issues with that. All right, Roro. Thank you for your help. Will this be saved? I'm gonna upload it to YouTube.
Your assistant's gonna be going back to school.
Huh?
I said your assistant's going to be going back to school soon.
I know. Next week. I'm gonna have to get a new one. I don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all. Okay, so let me stop the recording.